Okay, the next thing that I want to cover is the price mechanism. And we've not really covered this before, and if you missed some of it in year 12, then you might find it confusing, so we'll go a bit slower for this one. So, the price mechanism is just a summary of what the free market is able to do. And there are three functions. There's no order for them, but generally I would remember it in this order. Three. Or you could do sir, but this is the better order to actually write paragraphs in. So we've got signal, ration, and incentivize. These are the three functions of the price mechanism. What do I mean by that? What I mean is, in a free market, equilibrium price and quantity change all the time, and nobody's controlling the market. It just happens automatically, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Cool. So let me explain what I mean. Example one, a increase in demand. So we're going to do 4 examples. And by the time we get to the next one, you're going to be able to do it. So example one is an increase in demand. Example two is a decrease in demand. Example three is an increase in supply. And what would example four be?
Decrease in supply.
Yep, good. Okay, so what happens is, in this topic, we've got supply and demand. But you know, when demand increases, so far in economics, we've just assumed that the price magically increases. So if price was here, P1 and Q1, we assume that price magically just increases to P2 overnight.
Yeah.
In real life, that's not what happens. It doesn't magically go there. It goes there because of the price mechanism, and that happens step by step. Let me just pause for a second and draw
Okay.
all 4 diagrams, and probably you as well should draw 4 diagrams. Leave space near all of them, and then we'll go through it properly in one go. Just draw 4 like blank diagrams, just with demand and supply and nothing else. Like
Okay.
so just like that. Okay, perfect. So let's start with the right shift in demand. At first, we have a price of P1 and a quantity of Q1. Imagine there's a change in trends causing the demand for a good or service to increase. So if the demand for mangoes increases from D1 to D2, the first thing that will happen is, at the same price, there will be an excess demand.
Okay.
I'm going to call that Q3. Okay, you'll understand why in a minute. Don't take notes right now, just pay attention and then you can fill it in afterwards. So, at first, there's an excess demand. Why is this the case? If there's no demand in mangoes, the market doesn't magically change to the perfect price straight away. At first, there'll be too much demand at the same price. Okay. The market will send a signal that there is excess demand. How will it do it? Well, every single guy who sells mangoes will see too many people queuing up. If there's an excess demand for phones, every single phone company will have too many people queuing up. If there's an excess demand for tutoring, tutors will have too many people phoning them inquiring. Okay, so just think big queues or busy phones or lots of inquiries.
Okay.
They'll pick up the hint that there's excess demand. So same thing here. If there's a decrease in demand because something's out of fashion, let's say it's winter and the demand for winter jackets is decreasing, what's the first thing that will happen as per the price mechanism?
There will be excess supply.
Yeah, very good. So you got Q1 and P1, and that point there is going to be Q3. So Q1 to Q3 is your excess supply, because at the same price, if nothing changes, there's too many people who want to sell it, but not enough people who want to buy it. And then which part of the pricing mechanism do we talk about first?
Signal.
Cool. So the market sends a signal that there is
too much supply.
Literally think of this as the opposite. So empty queues, no one's calling you, all that kind of stuff. So empty shops. Your products have been sat there for a long time, or whatever it is. No inquiries and so on. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Next example, if there's an increase in supply. So what would you draw?
The supply shifting to the right.
Okay. And then what would there be at first? At the same price, there'll be a
excess supply.
And we'll call that Q3. And the market sends a signal that there is excess supply. Same thing, just think empty shops. And a decrease in supply, same thing, I'll just speed up now. Signal of excess demand. Okay?
Okay.
Does that make sense so far?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, back to the first example. Imagine that there's an increase in demand for houses. There's clearly excess demand, meaning that there's a lot of people who want to buy a house and not enough people who are willing and able to sell a house. So therefore, the market mechanism will move on to its next function to help get rid of this problem. The next function in the market mechanism was the ration function. Firms, what would firms, if I'm getting way too many calls every single day asking for a tutor, what do you think I would slowly realize and do over time?
Make more availability.
Yeah, let's say I can't make any more availability, then what might I do? Or what would a businessman do?
Probably drop people who you think don't really need it.
I'll give you a different example. If
Okay.
there's a high demand for gold, what would happen to the price of gold?
It would increase.
Yeah, so think about it that way. Producers over time will realize if it's like a one-off thing in real life can be different because not everyone thinks perfectly like in economics, but on average this will happen. If you know that you're busy every single day, you know that it's a valuable thing, so you'll raise your prices.
Okay.
You won't know exactly where P2 is, but we're going to try and get back to equilibrium. So we'll raise our price a little bit. What's going to happen is we're going to raise our price to here, and then look, there's still excess demand. Do you see that?
Yeah.
And then we're going to raise our price to here,